Hello everyone, it's so good to be back here yet again. I just came back from the cinema after seeing Cuckoo, the latest big release from Neon. Yeah, it seems like Neon and A24 are just going neck to neck, putting out some most interesting art house experimental films out there basically each year. You won't see me complaining. So the very brief synopsis of this film, we have Gretchen, who is a 17-year-old girl who is forced to move with her father and his family to this really luxurious resort in the German Alps. And as beautiful as this location may indeed be, it is quite the red flag for a whole bunch of reasons that I don't think I should get into. There are some truly creepy and disturbing revelations that will be uncovered in these neck of the woods. And though this film classifies itself as a horror film, I personally didn't find it all that scary, though I promise you, in any shortcoming it might have on the scare factor, it more than makes up for just being a super fucked up experience. Indeed, I do find that this film is much more mystery than anything else, and you will want to figure out what the hell is going on over here. Though by the end of the film, you probably won't get all the answers you were hoping for, which is a strange feeling because I do find that the film also kind of over-explains itself, so I'm not sure on which extremity of the grayscale we should be here. But still, there are some truly gnarly twists and turns that I'm pretty sure you won't see coming, and I do find it interesting, and it gets my creative juices running. But above all, I think the part that I like the most about the film is its overall sound design. They do some really cool and clever stuff over here. I don't want to go into more detail because that would just ruin the fun for you for discovering of what that sound gimmick is. But it is quite unique to this film, and I really do love the relationship of that sound that they have here, and paired with how we hear things, and also with music coming into the mix in some really cool ways. And these ideas all mix together in a really interesting way. Yeah, there really is an interesting take on sound over here, and I particularly like that this works on several narrative layers at the same time. I also want to quickly shout out the makeup team. As you may have seen from the trailers, Hunter Schafer's battered and bruised look is super well realized, and there are some other really gory, slimy VFX that are equally effective. So as far as the visual and sound of this film goes, I think it's pretty stunning. The cast as well is pretty solid. Hunter Schafer is a young rising star, and clearly they have a boatload of talent. I think they're perfect for this role. And as far as highlights secondary roles, Dan Stevens is absolutely electric, super sus and overbearing, but he pulls it off brilliantly. Though if I had to be critical about the film for a brief moment, I do think that the ending definitely starts to drag on. Once again, I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but there's this really cool looping effect that the film creates that I do find is quite novel and creative, but that is the case the first time. The film repeats itself quite literally, mirroring this looping effect that it does itself in the film a few too many times. And it starts to get a little overbearing, if I'm being honest. And it does literally extend the runtime of the film. And the effect itself is quite a lot to take in, so it's quite draining. Like, okay, we get it. We know what this is like. Can we just wrap up the story now? It maybe sounds a little harsh coming out this way, but without question in my mind, I think that the tension was so much stronger the first time it happened. It gets a little old even before the third act of the film. But even with some of its shortcomings, I do find that this is still a very clever film and an easy recommend. I do think it has a few inspiring ideas, even if it does overuse them. So I'd say this is a solid 7 out of 10. There are some really cool ideas in here that I do think merit at least a single watch. And I am quite interested in Hunter Schafer. There's clearly some star power at work here. We saw her earlier this year in Kinds of Kindness in a rather brief role. And of course, I've heard so much about Euphoria. I still haven't watched it. I don't know if I ever will. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I'm somewhat intimidated or even scared to jump into that world. Maybe it will be my cup of tea, maybe not. I don't know. One day I'll check it out. In any case, with all that being said, wishing you and your loved ones nothing but the best. Take care and talk to you soon.